Well, welcome back, everyone, to the most popular podcast in the state of Minnesota.
I think that's factually correct.
It's not factually incorrect. So,
Take that.
when's the last time we met? I feel like we got the new intro song on one episode, and then
that's
we
right. I think you're
we
right.
stopped hanging out.
Do you want to take a guess? Because when I was setting this up, I wasn't even sure I was going to remember how to set everything up to record, but I looked and I happened to see when the last one we did was.
So you know?
Yeah. Do you want to guess?
I want to say early October.
No.
Is it later?
Early August.
No way.
Yeah.
I was going to say August, but I said, no way. We definitely saw each other in like October, but wow.
Well, I mean, I've seen you since then, but we haven't done a podcast in forever.
Okay. So
got a lot of
wow. So what has happened since then?
a lot. Got a big dog.
Oh yeah, big dog.
Same dog. She's just a lot bigger than the last time.
Peaches. She's
leave the hat alone.
well mannered now too.
She's all right. She's definitely getting better, but she's still a puppy at heart for sure.
Woo. Hell yeah.
She's working at about 15% visibility right now because she's getting groomed on Friday. Usually I'll like trim the hair around her eyes so she can see better, but I do such a terrible job that I was like, well, we just leave it until she goes to get groomed.
Yeah, she's definitely looking for some braille on my thigh, looking for some love, but
yeah.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, she's the best.
So yeah, what's happened since August? So we've had, well, first off, everyone, folks, this is being done March 5th, 2025. So that is, wow.
So yeah.
Long time.
4 + 3, 7 months.
7 months or so, almost half a year. Over.
Dang.
So let's see here. Gene Hackman's dead.
Yep.
There's another actress. She was like 38 or 39. She was, I think, a teenage witch or a vampire slayer.
Buffy?
Was that her?
I don't know. No idea who you're talking
Someone, whatever. Yes, she's dead.
about. Dolly Parton's husband.
She was married.
Yeah. He was like he was. I don't know if it was his choice to be super secretive, but you like basically can't even find pictures of him on Google.
Oh, how old is he?
I don't know, probably 80s.
Oh yeah, I didn't know Gene Hackman was like 96 or something.
Dang.
Old timer.
Yeah.
Well, they say it happens in threes, and we already got 2 in January.
Who was in January?
Gene Hackman. Was it?
No,
Wait,
that was more recent.
Gene Hack. Yeah, sorry, that
Probably
was
February.
That was February. Okay, but we're in March in 2025. We got 2 down, 2 celebs. So who's gonna be the?
Are you counting Buffy, or are you counting?
Yeah, I would consider her famous, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I didn't know Dick Van Dyke's still alive. That dude's 99.
Dang.
So my money's politely backing that horse.
Who's the? When you said Dick Van Dyke, I thought of
Mary Poppins.
Who's that? Who's the He was the original Chuck Norris. You know who I'm talking about?
Bruce Lee?
No, he was like
Steven Seagal.
No,
wait, what? Strongman.
It was like one of those triple names, like Dick Van Dyke.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, that guy.
What about him?
I don't know. That's the person
Dick
I
Van
thought
Dyke.
of. When
You're
said
just
Dick
thinking
Van
of like
Dyke,
a 3-person name. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Who else do we got?
Okay, who do I think is gonna die? Kanye West.
Oh wow, bold choice.
I just try to think of somebody that has been pissing off a lot of people lately that would not really upset people if I said was gonna die. So,
yeah.
There you go.
So okay, I feel like a lot has happened though. In like Los Angeles is like burned to the ground. Was
Just
that
parts
happening?
of it. No, I think that was after probably. But that was like definitely more recent than.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
bring
because it
everyone
was
up
like
to
the
speed.
Super Bowl. It was like right around the Super Bowl. Because they had to cancel.
Yeah.
They had to move the Vikings playoff game. Yeah. So that would have been
The
January.
Vikings won, guys.
Yeah, the Vikings won the
Super
Super Bowl. Let's go.
But no, the carnage though in LA was like crazy.
Yeah.
Like people, what was it? I don't know someone made a comparison of like 40 square miles or something is the equivalent of, I don't even know what it was.
I saw a map that was like of all the areas that were on fire at one time. It like covered Minneapolis and St. Paul, like the entire Twin Cities area.
That's what there's someone made a comparison. I don't know who it was or where I read it, but it was like 40 square kilometers or something or miles was like Okinawa or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like this was like 65 square miles or something in LA.
How many people died? Do we know? Is there any indication?
I think I feel like the right thing to do would be look it up in real time.
That's probably true. Or we could just guess.
What do you guess? Is that bad to guess how many people died?
I'm going to guess 32.
I'm going to say 18.
Do, 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 do. Peaches, are you going to sit here the whole time? You were
29. You were, what'd you say?
Close. I said 32.
Yeah, you were the closest. But you were over, so technically by...
Price is Right rules.
I win. But...
Congratulations.
But anyway, okay, so we got that.
That's about it. Nothing else really interesting has happened, right?
I feel like a lot has happened.
Got a new president.
Yeah.
Got new year, 2025.
New year. Super Bowl. I mean, if we want to be Vikings.
No, that game was probably
rigged.
The most boring Super Bowl I could remember.
I think there was a different one that was super boring. Wasn't it recently in the last like 5 years where like just each team marched down the field and just sucked. It didn't score anything.
That's true. At least there was scoring in this one.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
I have a conspiracy, we'll say.
Let's hear it.
Well, I just feel like there were a lot of folks that were talking about the Super Bowl before it and kind of the narrative leading up to it where it was like Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift and, you know, the Chiefs are going to be down the first 3 quarters but then make a comeback in quarter 4 and all this stuff where it was kind of like I feel like that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And because everyone was talking about it on social media, they changed the script and said, let the Eagles just freaking let them cook. I don't know.
I don't think that there's any way that the NFL is rigged. Like it makes too much money that if everyone found out that it was not real or the outcomes weren't real, then people would not support it nearly as much. So I don't think it's worth the risk of them trying to rig it for any reason.
But here's I guess a different vantage point could be if they can build up enough hype and
This is just Peach's podcast now. She's just like she's standing on the coffee table staring directly into the camera.
Classic Peaches.
All right.
No, I just feel like yes, so it makes a lot of money as it is, but as we know, sometimes money, like just the thought of more of it makes people do crazy things.
Yeah.
And if they can orchestrate, like think about it, just the one season where they were able to capture all the Swifties just because of the Travis Kelce thing. I mean, they even said like however many more viewers because of Taylor Swift people, not Swift people, but Taylor Swift folk.
Swifties, if you will.
Yeah, Swifties had never like didn't have interest or don't really watch football,
Yeah.
all of a sudden were glued and sold out. Like local economies, they talked about Swiftonomics and all that stuff. And anyway, I'm just saying, like,
She does have a major impact. You are correct. I guess if they're going to rig it for anything, it would be for the Swifties.
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, it's like, how do you get more people? Like, if everyone is kind of like, if the shift of the crowd is like, you know what, we're not really into Taylor Swift anymore, or these Swifties are annoying, or, you know, like, if that, I don't want to say Swift, that shift occurred, all of a sudden their money-making opportunity toward the Swifties, you know, kind of becomes a lower tiered investment than just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just rambling on, but it just kind of seems like
I think my problem with your conspiracy is that Swifties make up conspiracies about everything, and most of them do not come to be true, but they keep doing it because if it does come true, they'll go viral. Right? So like
okay.
like Alyssa is like a mild Swiftie, I would say.
Is it like a fever?
Yeah. Yeah, if it was a fever, it would be like a
99.2
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a real mild fever. Her sister, Belinda's sister, is probably 103 degree Swiftie fever. Like, so she
got a
Taylor
break.
Swift toured for 2 years, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Roughly,
Okay.
if I remember correctly, about 2 years. Her sister watched pretty much every concert on TikTok Live.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about here. So
Okay,
anyway,
so,
I bring that up because Alyssa tells me all of the Swiftie theories, like, oh, everyone thinks that she's gonna drop an album tonight because it lines up with this and this and this and this, and most of the time it doesn't actually happen. But
yeah,
they're very conspiratorial.
yeah, I think we talked about. I feel like we talked about this before.
Very possible.
She has so much influence on people. Like, I think we did because I feel, or I talked to someone about it because I honestly think about it. If Taylor Swift posted on TikTok, Instagram, and all that stuff, and just told all her Swifties to like go out and get pregnant now, like
We need to repopulate the earth.
how many would just blindly do that? Like obedience. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
a lot.
as a percentage. Let's just say, easy numbers. Let's do 100,000 of a control group of 100,000 Swifties. What percent do you think would go do that between the ages of 18 and 35?
I would guess like probably not a lot, like less than 1%. Let's say half a percent.
Really?
You think it'd be more?
Yeah. I think ages between ages 18 and 24, I think over 65%.
Okay, so I'm saying wait, you just said over 65%?
Yeah. If
No.
Taylor Swift made
No.
a command,
No.
that would happen 100%.
Okay,
do you think if
let's do it this way instead, because obviously Taylor Swift has a lot of rabid fans, but she also has a lot of casual listeners, right? So I'm going on Spotify right now. I'm looking up Taylor Swift.
But these are 100,000 Swifties, not just casual listeners. We're not taking like a random poll here.
But even Swifties, there's a degree of Swiftie. Are you saying like the 100,000 most dedicated?
I'm saying you mix all the Swifties, the high, medium, and lows. If it's like that, whatever, that psychological phenomenon where like, what is it? Like all your peers are saying something, so you just jump in and do it,
Yeah, yeah.
even though you don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to go get pregnant, aren't you? I wasn't planning on it, but now I'm going to.
That's like such a major decision, though. I think it's less.
Okay, do you not think like a $3,000 ticket for a concert is a big decision?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
but that's a one-time thing. You pay
Is it?
$3,000 and it's over.
But
You have a baby. You have that baby for the rest of your life, hopefully.
but if they called it the Swiftie boom, where if Taylor Swift did that, how many people would love to have credit and say you were a Swiftie boomer? I'm telling you, I think in this world of social media right now, people would do it almost for that over. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but
Okay, so I wanna do it this way because this feels more scientific. She has 86.1 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
81.6 million. Let's just
So-
say 86 million.
So there's a good chance that I am one of those 86 million, right? Like, because like in the last month, I've probably listened to a Taylor Swift song. So I'm probably one of those. But if Taylor Swift says, go get pregnant, that's not going to be the deciding factor for me, right?
But
So-
are you
so
considering
take-
yourself a Swiftie, though? Just to be clear.
No, I'm considering
Oh,
myself one of the 86 million. So take that 86 million. What percent of those people do you think would go get pregnant if she said?
Is a listener deemed like you just
I think
you
I
go
think
on a
it-
radio and then all of a sudden like you hear one Taylor Swift song?
Well, I think it's specifically on Spotify. So I listened to one Taylor Swift song on Spotify
counts
last
as
month. I think that counts.
Oh, well then I would immediately say narrow that down to like a million of true Swifties who like all they do is put on Taylor Swift on shuffle.
Yeah.
So I'd
probably
I'd
more
limit
than
that down. Let's just make it a
Okay.
million.
Nice round number. All
Nice
right,
round
all right.
number. So of that million who would deem themselves a 100-degree temperature or higher
Okay.
Taylor Swiftie, if Taylor Swift tweeted or all that jazz and said, a new era is born, everyone go get pregnant, and then 9 months from now,
Swifties unite.
Swifties, you will, it's like it'll be a dawn of a new era. Like how many? I'm like the most anti Taylor Swift. I like her music. Don't get me wrong. Like I would say most of it, not all of it, but
You're not like.
but I'm not. I just see how people react, and
Yeah.
I've seen all the crazy, and that's where I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, this is where I'm at with it. If she were at a stadium, were to say like, people in the upper balconies like jump off, I think you'd get a weird, an alarming amount of people. I'm just saying, this
Like
is
at one concert that
Yeah.
would do it.
yeah.
Do you think it'd be more than one? Like,
I'd say
say there's 20,000 people in the upper deck.
Yep.
It's probably too many.
let's just
10,000.
say, what are you doing, Peaches?
Peaches is messing with the wires. Get out of here.
Okay, if there's 20,000 in the upper deck, I think if everyone sees one person do it, that'll prompt two more, and then two more. I think honestly, I think it would stop at around like 30 people.
Okay, I thought you were going to say a lot more. You were like exponentially growing, and I was like, uh-oh.
I think it's like one of those things where everyone's like, yeah, like caught up in the craziness of the moment, and like I'm gonna be that person, and then it's like by the 30th person, everyone has all been like already like, well, we can kind of see these people are hurt now. I think
Yeah.
I think it like
Like, oh, that
common
was not
sense
smart.
comes back to them, and like, or it's like an inoculation of like, oh my gosh, I almost jumped because someone told me to.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's a what's it called? Psychosis. Taylor Swift Swiftyism is like a psychosis of the mind where it's like a hive mind. She controls these people. That's going even more deep. Anyway, I think we've talked about that before.
So, boom.
So,
We definitely have talked about Swifties before.
yeah, sorry, folks. You can fast forward that.
No, I think Swifties hot topic. Maybe not as much as it was a year ago, but
Sure. Yeah.
So speaking of getting pregnant, we're having a baby. Not me and you.
Oh,
Me and
I was like,
Yeah.
takes two to tango, brother. Hey, congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
When's
Kind of a big deal.
the due date?
I don't know why, but I feel like I shouldn't say.
Fair enough.
Keep it more
Keep it punctual.
less public,
Cool.
more private. But
Nice. Well,
I've told you, I think. But
yeah, you did. Not my secret to tell. So,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very happy for you guys.
Thank you. So
I'm
far, so
excited
good.
to meet little Trud.
Belinda Jr. Trud.
Yeah.
Is that a real name that people
I don't
use?
know. It could be
Travis and Judd. Trud.
Trud or like. Yeah. No, you hit it right on the head.
Or like Tracy and Judd. Because like mom and dad combine their names.
Tracy Chapman.
Fast car.
Trud.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Boom. Dale Earnhardt Jr. the third.
Amazing. Well, what else do you got, my boy? I feel like we have so much to talk about.
We're also building a house.
What the heck?
So hopefully the house gets done before the baby comes, because it'll make everything a little bit easier to move. But yeah, it's pretty
If only if we
exciting.
knew some dates in the future of when the house could be built and
Yeah.
when baby's coming, then we could triangulate a plan.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really pumped. We're doing it's like, obviously, I mean, you've been in our house. Both of us work from home. And if we're adding a baby to the mix, there's not a lot of room left in the house. So we have, like, this house that we're in filled out pretty well. So we're running out of space. So, like, it kind of was all part of the plan that we would want to move and have a baby. But the baby part happened quicker than we were expecting. So,
do you think this is why some companies seek to expand? Is they just, they don't want to be too close to their coworkers?
it's very possible.
I guess.
And by expand, you mean enlarge the space they're in, not expand the company.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
both.
not expand the population.
Or it's like, hey, we hired
Workforce.
this person in 9 months. We need to find a space that'll accommodate all the current and future employees.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I'm really excited. So,
Excited for baby Trud.
yep, baby Trud, new house, who dis. But yeah, they're actively building it. Maybe not right now because it's kind of dark out late in the day. But
And we just got a dumping of snow.
yeah,
I'm sure they love that. That'll be gone in like 3 days.
yeah. There's not a roof on it, but they're starting the framing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they send us pictures all the time. They gave us a little app we can use. The construction manager sends us
Okay.
pictures and says, "This is what we did this week. We're doing this next week." It's kind of cool.
And you're like, not interested, thank you.
No, I am very interested, actually. I've literally been saving all of the pictures they send.
Damn,
Yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Just so you want to see if they're reusing the same picture.
No. Part of it is just my morbid curiosity, but we're doing the basement unfinished, and my plan is to put in a badass home theater in the basement.
Whoa.
So I literally, actually, it's up on my computer screen right now. I literally have the entire house mapped out in CAD software. It's the same software I use when I'm like doing woodwork and stuff. But this I did all in 2D.
What's
So-
your CAD software you use?
I use a software called SketchUp because back in the day it was free. It's no longer free to use,
But you found a way.
but I have the free version still.
Oh.
And I've like transferred it between computers. Like I literally just copy all of the files and move it onto a new computer because you
Nice.
can't get the free version anymore. But
Nice. So you're kind of like not grandfathered
yeah, I'm a
in,
badass.
but
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's sweet. So I literally, you can't really see it, but I'll show you later, but I literally mapped out where I'm going to put all the speakers in the basement.
You're going to hardwire 'em into the walls?
Yep.
Bad
Yeah,
boy.
so the front stage.
Stage?
Yeah, so like,
For a
well,
band?
I'm talking speaker terms here now. So the entire system's going to be, let's see, 13
Carry the one.
speakers,
Oh, okay.
I think. So 2 subwoofers.
Damn.
And the front stage, as it's called, is the left channel, right channel, and the center channel.
Okay.
Those will be like standalone speakers, right? Then all the other speakers will be in walls. So you have a surround on both the left and right, a surround in the back, left and right, and then 4 speakers in the ceiling for overhead effects.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What does... It's going to sound like a dumb question, but with movies, like their output that they're capable of pumping out,
Yeah.
do they have like a thing where it's like, if this crazy person has speakers on the ceiling aimed down, we want them to feel this or hear that?
Yep, that's exactly how it works. So you can look, like if you look on Netflix, it'll say what your audio format is. So like most of them, the bass would be like 5.1, which would mean you have 5 bed layer speakers, as they call it. So that's like your front, your left, center, right in the front, and then 2 surrounds on the sides. And the .1 is the subwoofer.
Gotcha. So yours is going to be 13 and 2.
It's actually, technically, it's 7.2.4 because they do the overhead speakers as a separate number. But if you're looking on Netflix, it'll just say Dolby Atmos is the format that they use.
Okay.
That's what most of them are outputting in. Dolby Atmos is what it's called. But there's another one called DTSX. It's just less used.
It just sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Can you like put something in the couch so then it like vibrates with it?
That is a thing.
Jesus.
I'm not going to do it, but
yeah, I won't like that either.
yeah. Just get
it's like
just
I'm not actually with Tom Cruise on this plane. Like, you know.
Yeah. Just get big enough subwoofers and it'll vibrate you.
You'll feel it.
Yeah.
A different way.
Yeah. So, I'm like very excited about that, but I also realize we're having a baby. So, not going to have that much time to finish the basement. But
well, you have plenty of time once baby's here. Then it's like, what are you going to do in your free time? It's like, just poops and eats, cries. Yeah. It's like, noise canceling headphones work in the basement.
Yeah.
I don't know. Put on some cool Wolfpack.
Belinda literally said today, she was like, you're going to be volunteering to take the overnight shifts so you can just bring the baby downstairs and work on the basement. I said, why not? But I actually...
And you said, you bet, Mama.
Yeah. So I have picked out every single speaker that I want to buy to put in it.
Is it a different one for every one? Is it
all the 4 surrounds are the same, the 4 in the ceiling are the same, and then the left and the right in the front are the same.
But I hear a but coming. Or an and.
But not really. So there's the center is different, the left and right's different, subwoofers are different.
Different brand or different function?
Most of them are the same
like
brand. The subwoofers are not the same brand, but I've done like a ridiculous amount of research on exactly how to set it up to be like the best. So I had you've seen movies at my house here. I have a very modest kind of, I would say, beginner home theater system that I used my first Trump bucks.
I don't think it's modest. I think it's outrageous.
No, it's like very modest, and I didn't really know what I was doing when I set it up and when I was like configuring it and everything. But now I've done so much more research that this one is going to be, I'm going to like blow your mind. It's going to be sweet. I can't wait. But
okay, can I ask what sort of research? Like, do you just Google this subwoofer and read reviews? Like,
no.
what is a? Help me understand what that looks like.
There's like
when you research
an
something,
infinite amount of information out there about home theaters because there's a lot of super passionate dorks. Obviously not infinite, but there's a lot more than I could ever consume. But yeah, like if you look on my diagrams up there, I have it mapped out where all the speakers are going to be, and I've measured the angles of the distance between the speakers. So that's super important. That's one thing. So like the placement of the speakers is very important. to the sound stage that you're building. So basically as the sound travels around the room in the on the bed layer, so like the front left, surround left, rear left, you want all of the angles of difference to be roughly the same.
Okay.
So like if I'm facing directly at the screen and I look 30 degrees to the left, that's where my left channel is going to be.
Okay.
Then basically you want to be less than 60 degrees to your next one, and then the same distance to your next one, because you want the sound to move around the room at the same speed.
You almost want it to surround you.
Exactly. So
time out. So I don't have my cheaters on, but I'm looking at that. Does that mean there's it looks like there's one focal point of perfectness?
yeah, that's
So is that where you're sitting?
That's a very astute observation you've made. It's called the main listening position. So yes,
Tim's chair.
That's the master's chair.
So
That's
everybody
Tim's
else
chair.
gets a piss poor, half-ass type experience, huh?
I would say
I feel like it's around me, but it's not like a blanket.
I wouldn't say it's piss poor. I would say it's not the perfect position. It'll be
It's
good.
not the masters.
It'll be good, but it's not going to be the perfect position.
Okay.
So yeah, that is actually a very astute observation. And the cool thing is, all of the receivers that process all of the audio information and distribute it to the speakers have, what's like processing software that basically you can set it so if I'm just watching something by myself, I can really narrow in the image on the main listening position. But if I'm watching something with everybody else, you can widen the image to make the sweet spot bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have done a lot of research.
Yeah, a lot.
Does it actually... Okay, have you done, the research is there. I like the proof in the pudding. So, is there, real life people being like, yes, this works? Or it's like, yeah, I switched it to super focused mode, and I couldn't tell a difference because I think it's just bullshit.
No.
Is there any of those types of,
The thing is, it's not even, sold as a marketing thing. It's just, a fact of the processing in the receivers themselves.
Receivers, you say with an S, so there's more than one receiver?
Well, there's usually just one receiver in the setup.
Yeah.
But I mean, different brands, they all do it. So
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Many different receivers on the market can do the
Gotcha.
same thing. But that all has to be configured manually by me.
Manually, on the TV or
no,
with a wrench?
No, you take a microphone and you move it around to all your different listening positions, and you take a bunch of readings. So the receiver basically will output a signal to each speaker.
Okay.
And then the processor will take all that information and kind of create an image of your space. So
what the fuck? It's like radar, but
it's processing all of the information that the microphone has received to figure out exactly kind of
what's obstacles are in the way, or what?
Yeah, and obviously you don't want obstacles in the way, but every room is different. So where I'm sitting in my room now, I have 5 speakers. In my home theater setup I have now,
Mm-hmm.
have 5 speakers plus a subwoofer. And because of the constraints of my room, they're in a very specific spot, right? If I was moved to a different room, they might be spread out a little bit. They might be at a different angle.
Okay.
But the processor basically can measure how long it takes from when the speaker during the test is outputting the sound to when the microphone is receiving it, and can adjust when it's outputting the sound.
So then that totally makes sense. So you could really make it so do you have to tell it where it's at though?
Nope. So the receiver that I'm going to buy in my setup runs software called Dirac Live. So it's a very specific, it's very well reviewed software that does all this. But when you're doing the testing with the microphone, it gives you a bunch of different data points to test. So you're like, you do like one that's like dead center. You do one that's off like 18 inches on each side.
But like, do you
little
tell
higher, a little lower?
when you say center, like the optimal position?
Yeah.
So what if you like intentionally fucked that up, like and moved it to a weird part of the room and said this is the center of the room, and then all of a sudden it's like configuring the sound like, oh, it's over here now.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you could do that.
I mean, I don't know why you would do that,
Right.
just to say you fucked with it and then you redid it. But
Yeah. You could do
to me,
that.
it'd be interesting to see what that would sound like with like a Tom Cruise movie or something.
Yeah. You could definitely do that. And I think actually that would be kind of cool to do like as a showcase kind of thing where I'd like have you come over and be like, okay, this is worth it, like configured very poorly. And I'd play some stuff. And then I'd be like, okay, this is with it configured the way that it should be.
I like it. Oh.
And then see if you can hear the difference.
What do you think intentionally? Well, I guess it would be maybe out of the output from the whatever you're watching. I'm just thinking like certain shows like Mr. Robot or something, or like suspenseful or mind-bending shows.
Yeah.
If the sound was slightly off, kind of like how it's filmed too.
Yeah.
I guess they would make the output so then it does do that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But
a lot of so have you watched White Lotus?
no, have you?
Yes.
Oh.
So the latest season of White Lotus, I've been watching exclusively here in my modest home theater.
Oh.
Where like before, like maybe I'd be watching it upstairs where we just have a normal speaker, right? So like I've noticed with White Lotus, they do a really good job of using the entire soundstage.
Really?
Yeah, in the last episode, it was like kind of trippy where the sound was like purposely moving in a circle around you and then like kind of jumping back and forth between the left and the right
confusing.
side. Yeah. Like have you ever listened to a song that it like pans left to right really fast?
Yeah.
Like it was doing that. The sound.
I only really experienced that with like noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
Because I have commoner type speakers and stuff, so
Yeah.
I don't have the
So
it's the 6-figure sound system that you're going to put into your new house.
Yeah. So one of the things that makes
What a fart or a dog?
No,
What was
it
it?
was Peaches is in the hallway whining,
Okay.
trying to get back in.
Sounded like a.
It did sound like a fart.
A
Yeah.
fart.
There was no balloon blast at the end, but I forgot what I was saying. So basically when you have good headphones or good speakers, they create a sound stage. So like you can kind of hear things that sound like they're farther off to the left and right, even though obviously when you have headphones on, they're not moving. Like the headphones aren't getting farther away. It's just good about projecting the image of the sound farther away. Okay. But
Okay.
you can also do that with like, even if they're crappy speakers, if you just literally have the speakers at like, if you're sitting facing straight forward, if you have them at least like 30 degrees out to each side, it'll create that kind of stereo image like that.
Okay. It'll give you that much better of an experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you're so passionate about sound.
Yeah. It's just super interesting. And I love movies, and it's like a great way to experience movies.
Seen any good movies lately?
No.
Any bad ones?
Actually, that's not true. I did watch what the hell was that movie called with Kieran Culkin? It was up for some Academy Awards. Kieran Culkin won one. He was talking about his wife promised that they could have a fourth baby if he won an Oscar.
Was he nominated or did he win it?
No, he won because that was his acceptance speech. What the hell was that movie called?
Was it in theaters?
I keep wanting to say A Quiet Place. I saw it. I watched it here at home. It was pretty good. I'm just going to let Peaches back in. She's whining like crazy. I don't remember. That one was pretty good. Kieran Culkin movie. Came out last year. I'm reaching for the doorknob. I can't. Oops. What else have I watched? Peaches, what have we watched lately? You don't remember? I don't know. Have you seen any good movies?
lately, I'm trying to think the last time I was in a theater. I think I saw Dune 2 in the theater last.
Yeah, that one was good. I like that movie. I've been meaning to rewatch it.
Yeah, I mean,
Did we go see that together?
probably, maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe we did. I don't know. No, I mean, I think I've just been,
Jay chillin'.
I don't know. Yeah, like we're talking big blockbusters like at the movie theater. I have not seen really anything because I just think half of it's just, I don't think the stories are original. They're still like regurgitating sequels on like 90s and 80s movies and actors, and I'm like, it's like they're still making Scream. I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm just like, come up with an original frickin' script and I'll go see it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm kind of getting annoyed, and that's where, oh man,
I've definitely been watching a lot more TV than movies. There's a lot of good TV shows.
Well, yeah, and I think they just keep, like, honestly, it's like Netflix, they have so much crap.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's like they have so much crap, and I think what they're going for is something for everyone.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people like crap. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing is, like, throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't like that strategy because it's like, just look at that compared to Apple TV.
Yeah.
I would say, and I even haven't seen all of them or half of them, but it's like, it seems like 8 out of 10 of their shows that they have, like, are actually really good.
They have a more like tighter
quality
selection.
Yeah, quality shows. Like, I have to see Severance season 2. I need to watch that. I'm just like, I got to binge it all because I don't think I can wait one week at a time.
It's funny that you say that because I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, avid Couch Beers fan.
Oh,
Sam.
Beep.
Sam.
Beep.
But the way to watch Severance is to watch it weekly, because like
the suspense is like what gets you.
It's a mystery box show.
So I love it.
Part of it, like part of the enjoyment that I get out of Severance, it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, actually. I think they're gonna land the ship. They just gotta land the ship, and I'll be happy. But
they just not land it, or what?
Well, they're just keep flying and crash into the ocean or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Ben Stiller's involved. I think he'll do it right or justice.
Yeah. But like the thing with the mystery box is I get a lot of enjoyment about speculating and thinking about what possibly could be going on. What are the explanations for this weird thing that happened? Like, that's what I love about that show, is there's so much mystery, but they also pay it off. Like, the end of the first season, they answered a lot of the questions of the first season, but then introduced some new ones.
No, I agree with you completely. I'm kind of like that person right now where I'm like,
have you ever seen
I just don't, put it this way, I don't like the fact that companies that like you stream on demand are now slowly trickling out shows, because it's like, sweet, if this is an 8-season thing, if it rolls out weekly, that's 2 months of viewership. We got them for 2 months. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I get the business side of it, but I just don't agree with it.
I like it.
But I think it's a personal thing. It's like, when the season's all out, I should be disciplined and watch it every Friday night as a reward for.
Oh, it comes out at 8 o'clock on Thursday nights. We watch it at 8 o'clock on Thursday nights.
Oh.
It's appointment television for me.
What, well, these streaming services too are getting so damn expensive.
Yeah. I canceled Hulu.
Yeah. I don't pay for any. I bum off my dad. He has Netflix and Amazon Prime. Prime's got some really good shows.
I haven't watched that much. I watched Rings of Power, which I really like, and I watched.
You worship that show.
Yeah, I actually read all the Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit in like the last 2 months. What else? Oh,
Did you-
the Wheel of Time. That one's coming back, I think, for season 3 soon. I
Oh
watched
yeah.
that one. That one's not as good, but still good.
What did you watch Fallout?
Yep. Yeah, I watched Fallout. That
I
was good.
I love that.
I think that was on you and my brother's recommendation.
Yeah, that was
I think it was you said it, and then my brother texted me. He was like, "Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's good." But yeah, that
But,
was good. I don't know when's that one coming back. Did they say?
probably later this year or next year or something,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but
That seems right.
um
That was the thing about Severance. It was 3 years between the seasons.
I know.
Yeah, it was too long. So hopefully, I mean, it's mostly set in an office building. Like they should
Right.
be able to film it better. And like I think part of it was the whole writer strike and whatever. But
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on when but yeah, I mean so yeah, I think well, you know, did you watch The Gorge? I think that's what it was called
no,
on
that
Apple
was
TV.
on Apple. I did. I saw. I think I saw the little
See, it's like-
banner image.
I'm interested in that. It looked like a unique different story. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I don't know, but
You and Silo, you liked, right?
I did. I didn't see season 2 yet.
I think there's 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that. There's another
You
one.
haven't watched it at all?
No, there's another one that I heard about. I don't know
Oh.
if it's on Apple TV. Yellow Jackets.
Oh.
I heard
maybe.
that one's good.
What's
I
it
haven't
about?
watched it. No idea. Probably bumblebees.
Okay. There was one, it was an Apple TV one too, because they're just banging out these like kind of thriller mind bending ones.
Yeah.
It was something about this like guy who's
Don't scratch that.
somehow his like interdimensional self like stole him and swapped him into a different reality.
Yeah.
And so it's like everyone knows who he is, but he's like he doesn't know who anyone is because it's like he's in a different reality or something. Anyway, but he's like I think the premise of the show, and I could be wrong, is him trying to get back to his reality or to kill his other self. Be like, what the hell, dude? I don't know. It's super interesting. I just like those they get you to think. I like those shows.
Apple TV has another show that's like not that, but it's also very good. Like it's probably my second favorite active show. Shrinking. Have you seen it?
Is that with? I've heard of
Jason Sudeikis. No, not Jason Sudeikis. Jason.
it. Statham.
No, not Jason Statham. Who's the guy Marshall from How I Met Your Mother? Jason Segel. I think it's Jason Segel.
Siegel.
Jason Segel. And Harrison Ford.
I knew. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one's really
Because he's
good.
a therapist, right? Harrison Ford. Okay.
Both of them. Yeah, they.
Oh,
work
they both
together.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've heard. See, it's like I only hear these. Like everyone's like a good show. Like
Yeah.
it's like you look at half the shit on Netflix, and you're like, or you don't hear people being like, "It's all good, man."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
You should watch that one. You'd like that one.
Okay.
Shrinking.
Very good.
Yeah.
What is there any important things happening in the crypto world, or am I opening up a can of worms?
No, I don't think so. So, I think we're at a point where I think crypto is like on the verge of blowing up, but it's
like
also
good blowing up or
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
blowing
good
up?
good
Okay.
blowing up, but it's also like closely tracking the stock market, which is going like crazy up and down because of the tariffs.
Would you say?
So I think that's holding it back a little bit. But
So would you say in layman's terms, would you say crypto's kind of like edging?
you could say that, yeah. But like part of it is so with the last SEC admins were very much regulation by enforcement, which is the worst way to regulate something,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. And the new administration came in and said, we're starting from scratch. And basically all of the SEC enforcement actions that were going out to like legitimate crypto organizations, like ones that are not straight up just trying to scam people, but actually trying to build a product that's useful. They said, okay, we're wiping it clean. We're not gonna what I don't remember what the wording was, but basically like we're not going after these companies that are like trying to do things the right way. So I thought that was really cool. The other thing is Donald Trump has been talking about like a strategic crypto reserve. I don't remember if we talked about this last time because he like during his campaign he kind of had talked about doing something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of insane. Like the US government, because of seizures and stuff, actually owns a lot of Bitcoin. So I think it's one thing to say, look, we see the value in this thing and we're going to hold on to it and not just sell it, because like that's what they've done. But to actually be like, yeah, we're going to create a crypto reserve and we're going to go out and buy Cardano and XRP and Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin and like whatever. I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think it's probably going to get blocked by Congress because like they're trying to cut spending, right? Why would they go out and buy a bunch of speculative assets?
Yeah. So that's a perfect segue into DOGE.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts and takes on that?
I think that most people would agree that there's bloat in the government, and I think it's good that like someone's trying to address it, but I don't think like the shotgun approach is maybe the best way to do it. And like it's hard. Like I think Elon Musk has this Silicon Valley mindset of like move fast and break things, and doing that with the government is probably not the best way to, like, the best approach. The other thing is, I was listening to a podcast this morning while I was snowblowing, that it was New York Times, The Daily from yesterday, where they were talking about like they don't even really understand, like they as in DOGE doesn't really understand exactly what they're looking at. So one of the things that they brought up was like they have a leaderboard for how much money they've saved. Mm-hmm. And the top one was like $8.1 billion on like that they cut some contract. And someone looked into it and they're like, this isn't right. The contract that they cut was $8.1 million. So they just put 3 extra zeros on the website on accident. And they're like, yeah, we knew that was wrong. We just hadn't fixed the website. And like that is a big difference. Like 8.1 billion versus million. The other one was like the second highest on their leaderboard was like 600 million or 600 or 64 million. I don't remember what it was. And there was 3 of them, 3 contracts that they cut that were worth that much. But what they didn't realize is the contracts were set up in a way that it was like 3 contracts with 3 different companies for a total of 640 million or whatever the number was, not 640 million to each of these companies.
Okay.
So they like did the math, and the actual savings that DOGE has cut was actually like far less than what they were parading around that they were doing. So that's one thing. I'm not like, it's not clear how effective it's been. I think it's a lot more noise than actually being an effective way to do that. But
yeah, I mean, my whole thing, yeah, I think like you said, everyone's aware of the bloat, and like it's one of those, this is where I think things start to come around when there's kind of like this major push for something, and then there's a lot of resistance from, I'd say, the majority of everyone, and obviously the opposition. Mm-hmm. And then it dies down, and then it's accepted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like with this, I just feel like when it relates to like, we've been hearing for like 2 decades, like America is fat, America is fat, America is fat. You know what I mean?
You mean like financially?
No, like sorry, I'm using this as a example to
Yeah, gotcha.
where it's like, so everyone's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, we're the unhealthiest country in the world, and it's like we've been hearing that for 2 decades, and now it's like it's like, yes, you're right. I feel like, this administration has put people in the right, I don't want to say the right seats, but the people who are like, yes, let's do something about all the stuff we've been talking about.
They're trying to address known problems.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing with, I guess for me, for DOGE, I'm just super excited that someone's at least trying and finding something. I mean, it's like the fact that people can be opposed to this, I'm just like.
Well, I think part of it is like fear. So like fear that, and I think it's like legitimate fear. Like we know people that work for the government, right? Like work for the federal government. Like those people probably do not deserve to lose their jobs, but they're like, they have fear that they're going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
And probably not deserved. But it's understandable that they would be afraid. And the other thing is like fear that the cuts that they're going to make are not targeted and that people will get hurt because like they're cutting funding for something that really makes a difference in people's lives. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for me, it's one of those things where, I mean, I guess all the things I've heard, first, I guess my first thing is like, I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think Elon Musk and the DOGE team has ever said, we're going to do this perfectly right.
Yeah.
So it's
no,
not giving them an out, but
he came out and said, like, we will make mistakes. Please audit us.
Right.
Like, tell us if we make a mistake and we'll fix it.
So it's like, I like that. I like the, it's, I think, I don't know, to me, it sounds like things over a tweet or like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of misinformation that's coming out from the people who oppose DOGE.
Yeah.
That is trying to paintbrush a picture that they're just doing like crazy stuff that I think there is a systematic approach to it. I don't think they're just like blindly doing a lot of stuff. But again, I don't know all the specifics. Yeah. But anyway, for me, it's like going back to the, we hear about the same thing over and over. And it's like, finally, I feel like there's this push where we've been hearing that the government is inefficient for decades. We've heard like, tell me about that $600 soap dispenser. Like, these government contracts are stupid. And it's like, now it's coming to light that there are no internal controls of how they spend money.
Yeah.
And like, it's all this kind of crazy where it's like, now it's, I don't know, to me, it's kind of a perfect cocktail. I don't want to say perfect cocktail, but it's kind of nice where I think with this era of AI, and we have social media in general, it doesn't have to be X, but it's like, I think it was before this administration took over, there was a bill on the Congress floor, and it was like that bill got leaked or something, I don't know, and it got all over X. And it was like a freaking 1,200 page bill. I don't know, maybe it's 600 pages. But it had like $60 million of just worthless spend or something. And so like that was an act of transparency of saying, hey, all your Congress people are going to vote on this. And it looks at how stupid this money is being spent. Yeah. It was like the first act of like, this is what we need to keep government in check. Because now it's very clear this is how the government works. Yeah. It's like, I just need money for my constituents and my program. Yeah. That's all I care about. Right. And it's like, okay, you scratch my back, I'll sign for this stupid, crazy bill. And then it's like, then you get into the further, second, third layer is like when certain parties, left or right, vote down a bill. And then it's like the face of the bill is like, so-and-so downvoted is against like women's rights or something. And it's like, no, it's like because I didn't get my money at the bottom of the bill like you said I would.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason they voted against it, not, you know, like that's, I think there's this era going to be emerge of like lots of forced transparency, but also now everyone's like, this is how our government works, and this is how, like, I think the reason they're doing stuff, moving fast and breaking things, is because we don't have time. Our debt is so much.
Yeah.
To service it is going to be $1 trillion or whatever the hell. I mean, you know how many zeros $1 trillion is? I just can't even, like, 999 billion. I mean, the next, I'm just thinking
12 zeros. That's a lot of zeros.
I'm just saying, it's so many zeros. It's like, are we talking in yen? Because it's like, oh, a cheeseburger in Japan is like 50 million yen. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like we're taught. Yeah. We just like, again, we're becoming disassociated with something that's hitting us constantly is how big our debt is. And when it goes up by another 3 trillion, I remember back in like 2005 when it was like our debt is like at whatever 5 trillion. And everyone was like losing their shit.
Yeah.
And now it's at like what, 30 trillion, and it's like it's only, so it's like, I think truthfully it's like, I don't know, if we don't get this under control, our spend, and make our country more financially lean and stable, there's going to be another world war, and it's going to be driven by financial collapse more so than anything.
The thing that bugs me the most about DOGE, and I've talked about this before, is like the U.S. spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. Why? When we haven't been in a war in however many years, like, why is that not the first place that they go to look to reduce spending? Like, that should be, like, the fact that we're spending that much more than everyone else, that should be the first place they look. And it's not going to be. And I think that's because Elon Musk's company gets a lot of money from the Department of Defense for funding. Like,
I thought they did go into the defense budget and, like, slashed a bunch of it.
I mean, it's possible, but
I don't know. But
it should be, that should be everything.
There's no doubt. But you have that, and then, I mean, if anything, they should just they should slash the budget and repurpose it, because it's like, now with these humanoid robots, it's like, we're not even gonna have a freaking army. We shouldn't have an army.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we should have, I don't know. It's like, okay, we have billions of dollars sitting out there. We can afford to downsize our. You don't even have to downsize your defense. You can just, like, downsize the people, or repurpose them to sit behind a computer, and, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think warfare is not going to be anything like the next World War. Whenever the World War, there will be another one. You heard it here first. But
hopefully not in our lifetimes.
Hopefully not ever, but I feel like it's going to be driven by either an economic, like, the U.S., the threat of default. It's like you either default on your debt or you go to war, and they will not default on the debt, so they will go to war. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know when. That was another super uncomfortable thing was sorry, are we?
Yeah, we can move on. No,
we can move on.
Good.
Sorry. So anyway, so it's March 2025. Let's hope DOGE does a good job.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about it.
I hope everyone does a good job.
Yeah.
And, like, I think there are legitimate problems with the way our government works, like you brought up, like voting on bills that are like 8,000 different things. Like, that's so stupid. Why do we do that? And we do it because it saves time.
Right.
We get to put all these different things together. That's how we compromise. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Like,
yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I just feel like I dreamed it. I had a daydream the other day, and I didn't know how to get the specifics involved, because whenever I think of something how it should be ideally done, then you introduce government, then I just always think about, like, okay, it depends on, like, who's going to try to exploit this. Like, that's immediately where I go. That's where I don't trust politicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, I was saying like there's a lot of, I think, agencies that are either A, not doing as much as they could, or B, whatever they may be, right? Inefficient. If you could somehow create like a pilot program for a university to say, you get to run this agency with X amount of dollars, and if you make it super efficient, it's like you get to keep whatever's left. It's like it's like a pay for like a bonus, like building your house or whatever. A construction company, it's like, what was it? There's incentives for like rebuilding the 35 bridge.
Yeah.
It's like you get an extra $1 million for every week you're ahead or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And they built the hell out of that thing, right? It's like create some sort of incentive that's not egregious, but it's just enough to be like you are optimally working efficiently.
Right.
And you're not this is where it's like, I would say like universities to have like a pilot program to have students learn too. And this is where my thoughts get all kind of haywire because I'm just like, it's not a government agency. It's an independent function that works for the government.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, how do you have it every 5 years? It rolls off to another university and then they get to run the program. You know what I mean? Like with a very limited amount of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then spend never gets out of control. I don't know. I'm just, because agencies, like any organization, wants to grow. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like if you start a coffee shop, do you want to just have one coffee shop, or would you rather have 4 that are just freaking pumping out tons of money, printing money? You know what I mean? Like,
I think I think that's a good point that you brought up, because I think, like, put my conspiracy theory hat on. I think that's why the SEC was going so hard after crypto, is because like they wanted to be like, we regulate crypto, we need more people, we need to expand the SEC so that we can be the regulators of this new industry, right? So I think that was part of the reason that they went so hard after crypto. Like, look what we're doing. We're doing all this great work to stop,
right?
Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
and it's like, I mean, that's my whole thing. It's like, not my whole thing. I shouldn't say that, but it's like
You invented it.
yeah. But no, just the dissonance with organizations spending other people's money. It's like, I don't have an impact, or like, this is not my money, so I can spend it. I don't really care. And then compound that to a cause that I don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking, it's like, if you have a sideways 8 for how much you can spend, or they have a number and that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The check will still cash. It's kind of like, what's your incentive to do the best job possible?
Right.
Like, I don't know. So anyway, I kind of went into the weeds there, but that's kind of my whole thing, is like, somehow design a system that allows for moderate increases and rewards efficiency and effectiveness.
Yeah.
But also don't make it necessarily an agency of the government, but spin it off into like a college-run program where it's like, okay, Harvard Business School folk, you get to run this government program, and there'll be constraints, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like,
It's interesting.
it's an interesting concept. I don't know. So, what else were we talking about?
No idea. I don't even know how we got here.
We were talking. Oh, you're going about crypto. We talked
Movies.
about Doge.
TV
No.
shows.
Did you listen to the Lex Friedman podcast with the president of Ukraine?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Never mind then.
I haven't listened to Lex Friedman in a long time.
Well, he's like on a hiatus now. So
Is he?
yeah, I think he's traveling Europe.
He got canceled? Oh.
No, he's traveling. He said, I'm going to go on vacation for a while and like travel for like 3 months. So
Oh, cool.
I think he might do a couple interviews over there, but no, it's just yeah. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
What else you got? You got anything else?
I honestly have no idea how long we've been going. Usually, like, back in the day when we were more regular with our podcasting, we were hitting, like, basically 54 to 56 minutes every episode.
Really? I thought we were like an hour and 24 minutes.
Some of them would go longer, but we could either have been here for 45 minutes doing this, or maybe it's been an hour and a half.
Well, I feel like the people, I mean, we haven't seen each other for 7 months. I feel like...
Something like that.
What else is going on?
Oh, you know what? I was going to tell
me.
you this. This may or may not be the last episode of the Couch Beers podcast on this couch.
What? You're getting rid of the couch?
This couch is going to my brother.
Evan.
Yep.
What?
So, I don't know when I'm going to get it to
What are we
him,
going to sit in, like, on a sofa bed or something? Or
I don't know. I have to come up with something.
beanbag?
We do have a giant beanbag. That'd be kind of fun.
Is it a love sack?
It is.
Okay.
I don't know how old it is, but it was inherited from Belinda.
Ah. Inherited. Okay.
It used to be sitting in the little theater family room, if you remember. It was sitting in the corner, but now Belinda's desk is in there.
Theater family room. What the hell is that?
Like our family room here in this house.
Like on this level?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be sitting in the corner.
Would you call it your modest
my modest
movie room?
home theater?
home theater? Yeah.
My next one is still going to be modest. I don't think I ever brought this up. I think I got totally sidetracked because you were asking me interesting questions about home theater. But the reason I brought it up, maybe it's not the reason, but it was something I thought of that I never shared. Today, I bought the left, the center, and the right channel.
Channel?
Yeah. Well, the speaker
Oh.
for that channel. So I'm excited. And they're quite large. So I called my parents, who are, I called my parents. I said, hey, I'm buying these speakers, but I don't want to have to move them. Like, with all the
fucking
all
big
the rest
are these
of our
speakers?
stuff.
Jesus Christ! You make it sound like these are the size of this damn couch.
44 inches tall, 11 inches wide, 18 inches deep.
There's 3 of them.
2 of them are that size. The center channel's like, I don't know,
Half
like
that.
18 inches wide and 10 inches tall or something. But the side ones, the left channel and the right channel, are pretty big. So I didn't want to like have to try and move that with the rest of our stuff. Like, I don't know how long we're going to have to move, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, shit. I forgot it's March.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I'm living in February still.
yeah, I called my parents and I asked if I could just keep them at their house until we move into our new house.
And they said, no, pound sand.
And I was like, no, I was like, I asked my dad, I'm like, I could just put them like downstairs in the back in the workshop somewhere and hide them in the corner. And my dad was like, or we could hook them up. And I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So my dad also has a modest home theater at his house. It was actually, he got that when I was a kid, and that has been like since I was a kid. I'm like, this is cool. I like that I can hear the sounds on the side or behind me. So that I'm like, I was like, I want to.
Were you supposed to be in that impersonation of
10.
yourself?
So I've always wanted to have a home theater. So yes, this is a dream 10 year or 20 years in the making.
Sound like you were held back a few
a
few grades.
I honestly don't know how old I was when he got it, but yeah.
Straight on. Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah. It'll be sweet.
Heaven, yeah.
It'll be sweet. Maybe, who knows?
Okay.
Maybe the next time we do a Couch Beers podcast, we'll be in a new home.
Okay, I need to ask our dedicated, loyal listeners.
It's been 7 months. I don't know if we have any left.
Believe me, when this pops on the radar saying like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what they talked about with the intro song, we're going to be back to number 1, baby.
I don't even remember what the intro sounds like. Sorry, I'm distracting you. You had a thought.
Damn, no, I don't even know. Oh, I was going to say, I don't think I'm a fedora guy, right? But hear me out. Have you heard of a
skull cap?
No, it's called like a. Is it called a Havana straw hat? Panama Panama straw hat or Havana hat?
I have no idea. I could picture what a Havana hat.
Well, okay. We're audience members. I'm not a fedora guy, but I feel like to complete my Hawaiian shirt in the summertime vibe, I need a headpiece. What do I want to say? Fucking a hat. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
And I'm not a fedora guy, so it's like find me a summery Havana like hat that I could rock, and then maybe I'll use funds that are raised from the show, and I'll try them on and I'll wear them in public.
I don't know how to tell you this, but this is a money losing venture.
I think I owe you money for this venture.
Probably.
Well, you let me know, or we can make some kind of other arrangement.
Okay. Sounds good.
Peaches, what do you think?
She finally fell asleep. Do you want to breathe into the microphone? I thought that was her for a second.
It was. Oh, she's now awake.
Yes.
Right, Peaches, look at the camera.
Okay, can you say bye? Wave at the camera. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Couch Brews Podcast.
Havana hat. Let me know if you think I could rock it.
Couch Brews Podcast at
Subscribe.
gmail.com. Couch Brews Pod on Instagram. Later.
Doses.